Nigerian Entrepreneurship Ecosystem Key Players 2017, Nigerian MSME Financial Literacy Survey 2018, From Startups to Scale-Ups, a review of business scale-up activities in Nigeria 2019, Improving Financial Literacy Among Nigerian MSMEs 2019, The Impact of COVID-19 on Nigerian MSMEs 2020, Combating the Impact of COVID-19 on the Lives and Livelihood of Nigerian Women and Other Protected Groupings, Securing Lives 2020, The State of Entrepreneurship 2021 Report 2021, The State of Entrepreneurship 2022 Report 2022, White Paper on Supporting Female-Led Businesses to Grow Sustainably in Nigeria 2022. We have also hosted annual policy dialogue programs addressing key entrepreneurship thematic areas using data from our research, positioning SMEs for growth, how to ensure Nigerian SMEs thrive despite economic headwinds 2015, nurturing public and private sector collaboration for entrepreneurship development and growth in Nigeria 2016, scaling entrepreneurship, how state-led efforts can unlock the youth potential 2017, building sustainable businesses, the case for deepening financial literacy 2018, from startups to scale-ups 2019, the pandemic and Nigerian MSMEs, impact, priorities and strategies 2020, building an inclusive, cohesive and sustainable ecosystem 2021.
Entrepreneurship has proven to be the most important driving force for socio-economic growth and development. The importance of an enabling environment to entrepreneurial ecosystems cannot be overemphasized. Now more than ever, the urgency for the adoption of sustainable entrepreneurship promotion measures takes a new significance, given the burgeoning youthful population of the country and the rising unemployment and underemployment levels that we have in our environment today. Our intent at our policy dialogue is to highlight the challenges, risks, and opportunities in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, which allow stakeholders across private, public, and development sectors to understand our unique dynamics and strategize to effective policy and program strategies.
And hereby launch the first Faith Institute State of Entrepreneurship in Nigeria Report 2021, and add to the promise that Mrs. Adeyemi and Mr. Talabi made that it shall be annual. I hope the community finds it useful, and there are many improvements that we can make to this report should be made known to the Faith Institute, and we shall implement those improvements. Thank you very much.
On the advocacy end, we have and continue to convene ecosystem players through our policy workshops and platforms like the MSME Community of Practice at the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, NESG, and through engagement with the government to drive policy reforms around access to finance and markets, taxation, etc.
Given the strategic role our Research and Policy Unit has played in defining thought leadership and aggregating stakeholders across the ecosystem together, the board of the Faith Foundation made the decision to transform our Research and Policy Unit into what is now called the Faith Institute. The Faith Institute is one of the 3 subdivisions of Faith Foundation now that leads innovative thinking and also aggregates platforms to bring together people like us to share, to discuss, to propose and to advocate issues on policy and entrepreneurship in Nigeria.
What started out in 2015 as the Research and Policy Unit at Faith Foundation has since evolved to become the Faith Institute, which is the division at Faith Foundation leading innovative thinking and creating platforms that enable idea exchange and problem-solving strategies around entrepreneurship in Nigeria. Positioned at the forefront of driving entrepreneurship policy reforms, the Institute continues to explore avenues to develop relevant and consistent data, as well as engage with relevant ecosystem players to influence entrepreneurship policies. One of such avenues is the annual publication of the State of Entrepreneurship Report, which provides an assessment of the entrepreneurial landscape in Nigeria using 5 indicators. 1. Business performance. 2. Skills acquisition. 3. Perception of opportunities. 4. Technology and innovation. And 5. Enabling environment. The Institute also tracks data within the entrepreneurship ecosystem using its Enterprise Data Map platform. Over the years, the FADE Institute has worked with ecosystem stakeholders to improve policies around taxation, access to markets, the startup ecosystem, and more. To continue to drive thought leadership, data, and analysis around entrepreneurship in Nigeria, the Institute launched the Senior Research Fellows Program, which comprises of policy experts, economists, and the academia coming together to work to address gaps within the Nigerian entrepreneurship ecosystem.
At the FATE Institute, we believe that a sustainable approach to improving the entrepreneurship ecosystem is through effective policy design and implementation. Our goal is to consistently support that process to deliver impact in the area of entrepreneurship policy implementation by developing data and insights and engaging in relevant conversations and advocacy. At the board level, we are very proud at the ongoing work at the Institute, and we remain strongly committed to driving systemic change within Nigeria's entrepreneurship ecosystem.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the FADE Institute Fellows Graduation and Induction Ceremony. And thank you very much for joining us early. Thank you very much for making it here on time and for honoring our invitation. We really appreciate you and warmly welcome you to this virtual ceremony. We're very excited today because today we celebrate our pioneer set of senior research fellows who are graduating, and we would also be welcoming on board our incoming cohorts of senior research fellows and research fellows. If you're wondering what the difference is, you'll get to know later as the program progresses. But the goal today is to spend about an hour and a half to celebrate both our graduating fellows and our incoming fellows. And I would quickly just walk through what our agenda is going to look like for today. Following this opening remarks or this welcome remarks that I'm giving, we would welcome opening remarks from the Executive Director of FADE Foundation. And shortly after that, we'll play a video on the graduating fellows. We would also take brief remarks from the class governor, who would speak on behalf of the graduating fellows. And then that would take us to the keynote address, where we would welcome our keynote speaker, After that, we would play a short video on our fellows that we inducted today, and also welcome on board our board director, who will be giving a welcome speech to the inductees. Shortly after that, we will take a spoken word or poetry interlude, which I'm really looking forward to. And then we will take a charge from the chairman of the board committee that oversees the work that we do at the Fate Institute. And after that, we would have closing remarks again from the executive director. And so that's what it's looking like for this morning. And we would move along very swiftly. But before I welcome the executive director, a few housekeeping rules, which I know some of us are used to, but I will just reiterate. When you join in, please keep your mics on mute and your videos as well, except we call on you. If you have any questions, any concerns or suggestions, please use the chat box. My colleagues, the Fate Institute team will be on hand to take your feedback and prefer any solutions as the need might be, just so that we have a smooth conversation devoid of interruptions. And I think that that concludes it for housekeeping rules. And so on that note, I would just yield the floor now to the executive director at Fate Foundation to give the opening remarks. Please join me in welcoming Adenike Adeyemi. Adenike, over to you. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Amaka. Please confirm you can hear me.
I can hear you clearly. Yes.
Fantastic. So I am very delighted on behalf of the board and management of Fate Foundation, and particularly the Fate School, which is our research and policy division at Fate Foundation, to welcome you all to our first fellows graduation and induction ceremony. I'm saying this on the heels of us just celebrating our 24th year of enabling and inspiring entrepreneurship in Nigeria. As most of you, and I hope all of you are familiar, Fate Foundation was started 24 years ago by Mr. Fola Adiola, founder of GT Bank, who has also pioneered quite a lot of other things across public and private sector space to act as a catalyst for enterprise development, particularly fostering wealth creation through business and entrepreneurial development amongst Nigerians. And we've done that through different spaces from our Fate School, which teaches, mentors, connects financing markets with entrepreneurs, but also through our Fate Institute, which looks from an ecosystem lens point of view to understand the entrepreneurship ecosystem and to provide insights, guidance, policy recommendations, and also advocate for policies that support a sustainable environment for entrepreneurship to be nurtured, to grow, and also to thrive. And so we just, as we kept evolving as an institute and as a division, we realized that there was quite a lot of other thoughts out there from individuals who were in either academia, who were practitioners themselves, or who were within the policy space to join our body of work through the different research and thought leadership that we did, and then contribute and provide perspectives to us so that, the reference Amaka made in terms of innovative thinking was also enhanced. And so 2 years ago, we launched this fellows program with a pioneer cohort of fellows who will now be graduating today. And so I would first of all like to welcome our graduating pioneer fellows to date. Sometimes it's very interesting to be a pioneering class because you're really just experimenting and you're working with the institution who is experimenting. Thank you for validating the intent behind the theory of change that we set up to set up this fellowship. And we're glad that 2 years after, we're able to now formally graduate you and have you pass on the baton to a new cohort, which we're then also inducting today. So the second welcome I will give is to our new fellows who are also joining us on board. I think that there is somebody that needs to be muted.
You are going for a call.
Mute, please mute as you join the call, please.
Yes.
Please mute.
Okay, great. So, and so welcome to the new cohort of fellows and senior fellows that would also And so welcome to the new cohort of fellows that will be, announcing shortly. I also would like to specially acknowledge and appreciate our board members who would also be joining this call. First of all, Mr. Tokunbo Talabi, who is a director on the board of Faith Foundation and who is the chair of our communications and advocacy committee that oversees our work with respect to our Faith Institute, all our communication, thought leadership and policy advocacy activities. I would like to welcome you. And also to Ms. Sheyi Bella, a member of the Communications and Advocacy Committee, who is also Director on Faith Foundation, and then Mrs. Roslyn Onolajet, also another member of the committee. Thank you so much. I would also like to specially welcome our keynote speaker for today. We'll properly introduce her, but I'm very proud of this woman who I always call a faith champion from afar, who has been very supportive of our work, the vision, and has really in different ways, tried to connect us with other experts within the space. And I'm happy that we're finally going to be able to bring her here to have her share our perspectives and also to provide encouragement to our fellows today. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining in from different parts. We really look forward to you, not just celebrating our graduating class of fellows and also the incoming one, but also being learning and inspiring and even understanding the reason behind why we do this program that we do. I wish us all an engaging program. Thank you very much, and over to you, Amaka.
Thank you very much, Adenike, for your opening remarks. I just realized I actually didn't mention my name when we started. So my name is Amaka Wokolo. I head the Faith Institute, which is the research and policy division, like Adenike mentioned. And essentially what we do is research data, policy influencing and engagement, all targeted towards improving the business environment in Nigeria. Again, thank you to Adenike for the opening remarks, which has now pushed us further along in the program. And today we're going to play a very short video that celebrates some very special people today. We're talking about our pioneer senior research fellows. Adenike had mentioned that, they gave of themselves, in a way, allowed us to test this idea. And they were very, very, very bright, very, I'm going to pause there so that, you hear more from the video that will be playing very shortly. But if we have that on standby, can we cue the video in, please?
In 2022, the Faith Institute Fellowship Program was launched as a means to bring together policy experts, economists, and academics to support the research and policy processes that will address key gaps within Nigeria's entrepreneurship ecosystem. For our pioneer cohort, we received a total 132 applications from Nigerians within and outside the shores of the country. 6 exceptional applicants emerged as senior research fellows after a rigorous shortlisting process. Over the past 2 years, our pioneer fellows have embarked on an immersive journey involving research, data analysis, policy dialogue, and policy engagement, focusing on sectors and thematic areas that range from manufacturing, fashion, and finance to education and agriculture. Our fellows have worked on thought-provoking pieces that have contributed to providing insights around these critical areas. Today, we proudly celebrate our graduating fellows. We celebrate Dr. Ayodele Shitu, who was also the class governor, for his work on enabling youth-led businesses to thrive in Nigeria's food retail sector and improving access to finance for entrepreneurs with disabilities in Nigeria. We celebrate Dr. Motunrayo Akinshola for her work on building a sustainable edtech ecosystem in Nigeria. We also celebrate Mr. Jonathan Ikeolumba for his work on identifying the critical levers necessary for the sustainable growth of the fashion industry in Nigeria. We celebrate Dr. Omoshaliwa Olawoye-Man for her work on improving access to markets for women and youth-led businesses in Nigeria's agribusiness sector. We also celebrate Mr. Real One Aderinto for his work on sustainable financing for Nigeria's creative industries. And last but not least, we celebrate Mr. Wilson Erumebo for his work on Nigeria's manufacturing sector and the impact of the African Continental Free Trade Area on Nigeria's NMSMEs. Beyond their scholarly achievements, our fellows also lend their voices to pivotal conversations through speaking engagements, workshops, and our Entrepreneurship Policy Pulse podcast, shaping the discourse on Nigeria's entrepreneurship landscape.
Time at the Faith Institute Fellows Program was truly impactful.
Over the course of the program, I've had the opportunity to have made a lot of valuable contribution across several platforms. I particularly liked during the course of my fellowship, the monthly series and engagements we're having. We had the opportunity to have learned firsthand from different industry experts.
The quality of the network, the quality of training, the quality of workshops that we've attended, as well as some of the events are quite enriching.
My participation in the First Institute Fellowship Program is an exciting moment for me, and I continue to relish the opportunity that I've gotten from this program, starting from conducting individual policy paper based on evidence-based research, and also participating in collaborative studies with other fellows in the program.
Congratulations to our graduating fellows. Your dedication, vision, and unwavering commitment to improving the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Nigeria inspires us all. Here's to the next chapter of impact and innovation.
A huge congratulations to all our graduating fellows today. We are so proud of you. We're so inspired by the work that you have done, and we're just so happy to be celebrating you today. Now that we have played the video, I'm sure that a lot of you see what I was trying to say when I said we had very bright fellows who not just applied themselves to the rigor of research, but also went through the process of engaging with stakeholders within the space, just to ensure that we bridge the gaps around thematic areas within the entrepreneurship ecosystem and contribute meaningfully to policy discourse that can address some of these gaps. And so on the back of that video, I'm going to welcome the class governor, who is going to speak very briefly on behalf of the graduated set. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ayodele Shitu, who is our Senior Research Fellow at the Institute and is also the Coordinator Masters in Public and International Affairs at the University of Lagos, Nigeria. Dr. Shitu, you have the floor. Thank you. Hey, can anyone confirm that I am audible?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so I think Dr. Shitu. Okay, so we just need to be sure that we have him. I know he's on the call. Okay, Dr. Shitu, can you hear me? Okay, so we would probably come back to take Dr. Shitu's remarks. The next item on the agenda really is our keynote. So I really would have loved us to have this before we welcome our keynote speaker. Okay, so I see Dr. Shitu now. Hello, Dr. Shitu, can you hear me?
Thank you very much, Maka, and I sincerely want to appreciate the leadership of the Faith Institute, starting with our director of the Faith Foundation, Adenike, as well as the entire team of the Faith Institute under the leadership of Amaka. It gives me immense pleasure to actually give a resounding remark on behalf of the class about 2022-2024 cohort. And it's quite amazing to realize that it's just 2 years down the line. We started this journey on an interesting, very note, and we were eager to learn, we were eager to deliver, we were also eager to make impact. And I make bold to say that the Faith Foundation, as well as the Faith Institute, gave us a platform to thrive, the platform to learn, the platform to lead. This platform also created a world of opportunities for us. And finally, from the workshop, we had opportunities to network. More importantly, I would say that this platform is an enviable one, which also allowed us to learn the world of policy think tank, policy ideation, policy formulation. And at the end of the day, every member of this cohort was able to deliver a policy brief or a white paper, which of course has been making impacts within, around, and beyond Nigeria's entrepreneurship ecosystem. I wouldn't want to say much other than to appreciate every member of our own cohort, starting Dr. Jonathan, Dr. Amoshalewa, Dr. Rilwan, and Dr. Wilson, who gave me all the support that I needed to succeed during this 2 years journey. We all saw we worked hard, all contact. Looking forward to our fellows. On behalf of my cohort, we want to encourage you to embrace this new opportunity with both hands. Of course, you are becoming the fellow of the cities. And I tell you with my full chest high that this will afford you 7 important things as the word fellow connotes. Being the fellow of the institute, just an experience, you are going to experience a new world of friendship. You will be exposed to the entrepreneurship ecosystem, which of course laden with loads of opportunity. And the data that you will be exposed to through the Faith Institute will create nuanced insights for you to develop new capabilities and make the impact that you all desire. Let's not forget the role of leadership. The monthly workshops that we had exposed us to new leaders in their own world, and particularly in Nigeria's entrepreneurship ecosystem. That will also equip you with entrepreneurial leadership skills. Learning is also very important. The Faith Institute will push you to learn. You will have to push yourself to learn. And together, every one of us will continue to push ourselves to learn. The O, which stands for opportunity. I would love to tell you that prior to this workshop or this fellowship, I hardly thought of entrepreneurship within the disability space. The Faith Institute gave us that opportunity, and today we are, together with the Faith Institute, exploring entrepreneurship options, opportunities within the disability ecosystem. So much more opportunities will be availed to you as you proceed on this journey. And find this workshop. Trust me, every month there's a new thing to look out for. And these are powerful workshops that you will continue to relish over time. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the Faith Institute Fellowship stands for two important things in my own view: policy and impact. And this is what the Faith Institute has really invested in us. On behalf of my own cohort, we stand bold to say that Faith Institute has stood by us in the last 2 years. Together, we would also stand by Faith Institute. The journey has just started. Even though we are graduating today, we continue to stand with the Faith Institute. We have counted on you over the last 2 years, and you never disappointed us. Be rest assured, myself, Dr. Akinshola, Dr. Jonathan, Dr. Moshola, Dr. Rilwan, and Dr. Wilson will continue to stand you. We will also avail ourselves to support the incoming fellows, and together we would continue to work together to achieve more impact within the Nigerian entrepreneurship ecosystem. Thank you, Faith Foundation, for this laudable initiative.
Thank you.
Thank you, Faith Institute, for implementing this initiative. And I thank all my cohorts, Dr. Akinshola, Dr. Jonathan, Dr. Moshaliwa, Dr. Rewan, and Dr. Wilson, for remaining resilient even in the face of challenges. We saw, we came, we saw, and indeed we have conquered. Congratulations to you all. Congratulations to all. And to the new fellows.
Thank you.
I also joined the Faith Institute. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shitu. We appreciate you. Thank you very much for speaking. Thank you very much for speaking on behalf of the graduating fellows. We're very proud of your work. We're very proud of your experiences and the journeys that you have been on. And we really look forward to the impacts that you all are going to make on Nigeria's entrepreneurship ecosystem and on our beloved country at large. Like Dr. Shitu said, so this is not goodbye. Yes, you're graduating today, but it's not goodbye. You now become our alumni fellows, and there's a lot of work to do in terms of supporting the incoming fellows and also contributing your expertise to bridging gaps within the ecosystem. So congratulations again to all our graduating fellows today. Moving further along on the agenda, this is the time, and this is the time we welcome our keynote speaker, or take the keynote speech. And Adenike had mentioned very briefly who our keynote speaker is, but I am going to introduce her and read her bio so you get to know a bit more about the person who would be addressing us very shortly. Our keynote speaker today is Ms. Cecilia Akintomide, who is the former Vice President and Secretary General at the African Development Bank, and is currently the executive advisor to the group CEO of EcoBank Transnational Incorporated. Now, Cecilia Akintomide is a seasoned executive with expertise in development finance, corporate finance, law, and strategy. She's the chairperson of the Global Sanitation and Hygiene Fund and an independent director on the boards of One Parthian Partners Limited, which is Nigeria's foremost inter-dealer brokerage firm. She's also an independent director on the board of Dorman Long Engineering, a leading oil field equipment, structural steel, marine structures engineering, and fabrication company. She's also an independent director on the board of CC Hub Growth Capital, which is Nigeria's first social innovation fund supporting high potential early stage businesses, as well as an independent director on Swag Co, an agricultural sector investment company. Cecilia is a member of the Board of Trustees of the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library and was a member of the Board of Regents of Covenant University, one of Nigeria's leading universities, and the Board of First Bank Holdings, PLC, one of Africa's leading financial services holding companies, headquartered in Lagos, Nigeria. Cecilia is also a member of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria. She currently serves as the executive advisor to the group CEO of EcoBank Transnational Incorporated, also known as ETI, a Pan-African financial services holding company headquartered in Lomé, Togo, present in 35 African countries, as well as in France, in the UK, the UAE, and China. She has served in senior roles, including Vice President, Secretary General of the African Development Bank, a development finance institution established to contribute to the development of African countries. Cecilia also served as head of public and private sector operations and policy in the General Counsel and Legal Services Department of the AFDB. Prior to AFDB, which is the African Development Bank, Cecilia practiced law in Lagos, Washington, D.C., New York, at the law firms of O. Thomas & Co., Thompson & Co., and Will, Gottschall, and Manges. I could go on and on, reeling out more and more achievements of this remarkable woman, but I will pause now and yield the floor to our keynote speaker, Ms. Cecilia Akintomide, who would be speaking on championing entrepreneurship policy reforms for impact. Ms. Akintomide, if you can hear me, you have the floor. You're very welcome. We appreciate you for being here today. Thank you. Okay, just a few seconds, please, so that we can get our keynote speaker up. Okay, so network seems to be interrupting a bit. Okay, I see that our keynote speaker has dropped off, but she'll be joining very shortly. Okay, so whilst we try to get our keynote speaker back up, can we have the video on the fellows to be inducted played? And then when our keynote speaker is back, we'll take the keynote address.
For the second cohort of the Fate Institute Fellowship Program, we received a total of 165 applications from Nigerians all over the world. The intensive shortlisting and selection process produced 5 exceptional candidates whom we are proud to introduce to you today. This year, we introduced a dual stream of fellows, senior research fellows and research fellows, which allows us to contribute to building the next generation of policy shapers and influencers. Our senior research fellows come with a wealth of experience of at least 10 years and have a PhD degree or are currently running a PhD program. Our research fellows are of a younger demographic have at least 5 years experience and possess a master's degree or currently running a master's program. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the Fate Institute Fellows, Class of 2026, starting with our Senior Research Fellows in alphabetical order. We're proud to introduce Mr. Kolawole Oshinowo, a Senior Research Fellow. He has over 16 years industry experience. He holds an MSc degree in Innovation and Entrepreneurship from HEC Paris and an MBA from the prestigious Imperial College Business School. He is currently pursuing his PhD in Digital Economy and FinTech at De Montfort University, UK. Our second Senior Research Fellow is Dr. Oluyemi Adeosun. Dr. Adeosun has over 17 years professional experience and is an economist who has published 46 papers focusing on entrepreneurship and women entrepreneurship. He has a PhD in economics from the University of Lagos, Nigeria. Our third Senior Research Fellow is Dr. Risikat Ejide Akimbiyi, who is a seasoned e-commerce strategist, researcher, and entrepreneur with over 14 years industry experience. She serves as co-founder of Materials Pro and is an adjunct faculty member at the Yaba College of Technologies, School of Management and Business Studies. She holds a PhD in strategic marketing with a specialization in e-commerce from Babcock University. Next up, our research fellows. We're proud to introduce Ms. Chiamaka Nendu, a research fellow with over 7 years experience. Ms. Chiamaka Nendu stands at the forefront of business, economy, finance, and youth development. She holds a master's degree in media arts from the University of Abuja and currently serves as the presenter and producer of Trust TV's premier business program, Business Daily. Our second research fellow is Mr. Charles Asiegbu, who is a policy, research, and data analyst with over 6 years industry experience. Mr. Charles Asiegbu holds a master's degree in international relations from the University of Abuja and currently serves as the research team lead at the AIG Imokwede Foundation. Congratulations to the Fate Institute Fellows, Class of 2026. We welcome you to a journey of transformation, pushing your boundaries and becoming the best leader you can be. Welcome on board.
Welcome on board to all our incoming fellows who we're inducting today. Congratulations on the journey so far, and congratulations on your induction that is happening today. Very shortly, or I see Ms. Akintomide is back on the call, so I will just yield the floor to Ms. Akintomide and we will take our keynote address. Ms. Akintomide, can you hear me? Okay, so I'm not sure what is happening. Seems like network is playing a game of hide and seek with me because once I call her up, then something happens and then I don't see her anymore. So I'm guessing she's dropped off again. A few seconds, please, just confirm if she's still on the call.
Amaka, she's trying to come back in.
She's trying to come back in. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so whilst we wait for Ms. Akintomide to join us, I wanted to just emphasize that this year we introduced a dual stream of fellows, like we noted in the video. And so this year we have senior research fellows and we also have research fellows. And this is our own way of also contributing to building the next generation of policy influencers and shapers within the ecosystem. So again, congratulations to all our fellows who we are inducting today, and much later or coming up later in the program, we would take specific addresses to our inductees. So let's see, do we have Ms. Akintomide back on the call? No, I don't think so. So if it's okay, and if Ms. Bella is on the call, I think we can just go ahead while we wait for Ms. Akintamide to get back on the call. Mrs. Bella? Just to confirm, if you're on the call, if you can hear me.
Hello, Amaka. I can hear you. Good morning and good morning, everyone. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm pretty excited about what's happening here today. Absolutely excited. Satsi, very welcome. So I would say, of course, we want to welcome our esteemed fellows, all our entrepreneurship ecosystem players that are present. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation to be here. I would like to start by congratulating our incoming fellows and their journey so far. We started the shortlisting and selection process for the second cohort of the Faith Institute Fellowship Program with just 165 applicants. These were shortlisted 40 in the first stage, 20 in the second stage, 10 in the third stage, after which 5 emerged as our finalists. So our finalists, you really have to be very proud of yourselves, for coming out as our finalists after this rigorous process. So to our finalists, Kolawole Oshino, Oluyemi Adeosun, Risikat Akimbi, Chiamaka Enendo, and Charles Asiegu, I say a big congratulations and very well done. Today, we officially induct you into our vibrant Faith Institute Fellowship Program. This program is a haven for brilliant minds like yours. Here, you will be challenged and inspired to tackle tough entrepreneurship issues. As you know, Nigeria is blessed with a dynamic entrepreneurship ecosystem, resilient entrepreneurs, and enormous potential waiting to be tapped. Nigeria is also grappling with macroeconomic instability, a rising inflation, a high energy cost. Yes, all of us are dealing with that, all of which are negatively impacting small and growing businesses. And this therefore underscores the need for the design and implementation of sustainable policies. As incoming fellows, you represent the future of the Nigerian entrepreneurship. Standing on the shoulders of your predecessors, you have the opportunity to address critical problems within the entrepreneurship ecosystem through intellectual rigor, innovative thinking, and a can-do attitude. The policy reform journey is for the long haul, and the steps you're taking today with this program will pave the way for the success we all yearn to see. You are coming on board at a crucial time as the Faith Institute is currently running with a 5-year strategy targeted at leading the passage of an entrepreneurship bill in Nigeria. This is your opportunity to make your efforts count. Over the next 2 years, you will receive expert guidance, engage with thought leaders, and work collaboratively with ecosystem players to improve entrepreneurship policies. As you commence your program, I encourage you to absorb knowledge from the mentors that you will be assigned to and the industry experts that you'll be engaging with. Leverage the support of your predecessors and the Faith Institute community. Don't be scared of big entrepreneurship problems. Face them head on. Stay focused on finding solutions. The Faith Foundation, the fellowship is it's more than just a program. So the Faith Fellowship it's definitely more than a program, and it's about pushing your boundaries, discovering your full potential, and becoming the best leader you can be. So my advice to you is embrace the challenges, learn quickly, and most importantly, never lose sight of the passion that brought you here. We believe in your potential to contribute to the development of an enabling business environment, the design of policies and of programs that will drive economic growth and create jobs and improve the livelihood of Nigerians. And so I say to you, congratulations again and welcome on board. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Sheyi Bella. That was our board director who sits on the Communications and Advocacy Board Committee at Faith Foundation, and that's the board committee that directly oversees the work we do at the Faith Institute. Mrs. Bella has just given the welcome speech to the new class of fellows, and which we describe as a class of 2026 because their program would lapse in 2026. Thank you very much again, Mrs. Bella, for that charge to our inductees today. Congratulations again to all our inductees. And so at this point, we can now take the keynotes from Ms. Akintomide, if she's back on the call. So do I have, okay, finally, I think she is on the call. There we go. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see me? Okay.
Finally, I can hear you and I can see you, and I'm hoping you can hear and see me.
Yes, yes, clearly.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
great.
You have the floor.
So, thank you very much. Greatly honored. This is indeed a special day and special occasion, and I am deeply honored to be here this morning and having the privilege to engage with a group of people that have been equipped for impact. I would like to recognize the chairperson of the board of Fate Foundation and members of the board of directors, the CEO, and the faculty, as well as the fellows. As we all know, change does not start with a crowd, but a meaningful few. A woman scientist once said, and I quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. You only need a small amount of a catalyst to set off a lasting chain reaction. The fellows, you are catalysts equipped to create something greater than the sum of each of you. So remember that. Entrepreneurship, our subject of today, is the foundation of industry, innovation, and enterprise. It births startups, SMEs, and large corporates, and spurs innovation, growth, and competitiveness, both within businesses and organizations. Economies have failed because of a lack of entrepreneurship and a dependency on the state. The entrepreneurial spirit has been a pillar of salvation of Nigeria. The time, though, has come to go beyond being a stabilizing pillar to becoming a driving force of growth. We proudly announce to the world that Africa is the young continent with an amazing youth dividend or demographic dividend. 60% of our population is under 25. However, entrepreneurship is one of the most critical levers for securing this demographic dividend, as well as peace, stability, and progress. With an estimated 10 to 15 million youth entering the workforce in Africa annually and only 3 million formal jobs, we need entrepreneurship to avoid a crisis, particularly a security crisis, as well as a food crisis. The AFDB observed that about 22% of Africa's working age population are starting businesses, noting that this is the highest entrepreneurship rate in the world. Nigeria and Zambia have a 40% entrepreneurship rate. That's the highest. However, one of the sobering data discoveries is that unlike in other continents, majority of our businesses do not outlive the owner or employ more than one person, grow and record profits over time. Sadly, 80% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. Furthermore, as we know, MSMEs in their continuum are the next level of visible results of entrepreneurship after startups. In Nigeria, the ILO has found that they contribute 48%, that is MSMEs, contribute 48% of national GDP, account for 96% of businesses and 84% of employment. Similarly, across the continent, they account for about 50% of GDP and over 80% of employment. Forbes describes MSMEs as the lifeblood of the African economy. There is a gender dimension to the importance of MSMEs. The National Bureau of Statistics recently disclosed that 40% of MSMEs in Nigeria are owned by women, surpassing the global statistic of 33%. Also, the Fate Foundation's own 2023 State of the Entrepreneurship Report shows also that there is a gender dimension in performance, with women-owned businesses performing better or having a better performance rate than the male-owned businesses. Entrepreneurship and MSMEs, however, are very much at risk in our country and on the continent of Africa, owing to a combination of multiple factors. First is the burden of underdevelopment, which they carry either as a result of lack of infrastructure, power, insecurity, and all of the burdens of underdevelopment. Then we have the beating that COVID-19 has given to MSMEs, resulting in a 44% decline in revenue for about 74% of enterprises. 43% of enterprises experienced a decline in workforce. So the recent spike in unemployment rates is now better understood. Many MSMEs were unable to access credit or capital to sustain their enterprises and folded up. Furthermore, there were significant supply chain disruptions, which restricted or limited market access. The low or no growth era of COVID was very quickly followed by the Russia-Ukraine war, which continued supply chain disruptions and then brought about increase in prices of grains, oil, and fertilizer. The Russia-Ukraine war is still with us, and its impact on MSMEs. The situation has again been further complicated by rising inflation, to which central banks responded by increasing rates. The US dollar has strengthened against local African currencies, creating a difficult situation for any MSME that needs foreign currency for its operations, as well as requires access to credit. We continue to see interest rates soar, while the war in the Middle East continues to spread a cloud of uncertainty. The Naira has experienced significant rate swings, with a massive depreciation Naira now beginning to strengthen this month. In a Statista review of leading issues affecting MSMEs in Africa as of 2023, the inflation rate was highlighted as the #1 challenge, followed by the lingering effects of COVID-19, exchange rates, political uncertainty, supply chain issues, interest rates, and taxes. And in Nigeria, just the effect of the increase also in the price of petroleum products continues to have a major impact on our MSMEs. The IMF, now looking at general growth, the IMF projects global growth at 3.2% for the world economy over the next 2 years, this year inclusive, and notably, this projection is the same as last year. For sub-Saharan Africa, there has been an uptick of 0.4%, with growth projected at 3.8% this year and 4% the year after. For Nigeria, as a nod to the efforts at taming the tiger by the economic team, the IMF has revised its growth projections for this year to 3.3%, with an uptick of 0.3%. With this backdrop, it is clear that we should be in a protective, nurturing, and growth accelerating mode when it comes to entrepreneurship. So a few points to highlight. First, solving the problem which affects all of us is not only a problem to be addressed by government, but a call to action for all. It is for this reason that I must commend the founders of Faith Foundation for the initiative and the difference it is making, creating a body of knowledge and consolidating that deepened body of knowledge by interrogating the trends, determining what works to help better policy making. I also must congratulate the Faith Foundation for the flagship reports, which have been consistently produced over the years. We absolutely need to start early to address the knowledge gap and to build the entrepreneurship spirit. Entrepreneurs are made, they are not born. There is a reason why in the US you see children selling homemade cookies or lemonade during the summer to raise money for their own expenses. And it doesn't matter how comfortable or not that comfortable the family is. It is part of the tradition and the culture in that nation. Primary schools start the children with entrepreneurial projects. We also need in our own country to promote commercial mathematics to begin to create the understanding of the marketplace. We need to purposefully build in entrepreneurship into our school programs and curriculum and make it mandatory at all levels. At university, every graduate must have to take a course on entrepreneurship with a practical project, regardless of whether you're taking a professional course or not. You need to know how to start your profession as a business. A lot of our doctors do not know how to run a clinic or hospital successfully as a business, and it should not be so in a country such as ours, given the challenges we're facing. We need to expand the objective of our National Youth Service Program to include creating entrepreneurs by having a standard entrepreneurship bootcamp and considering extending the youth service to 2 years so that you have a 1 year for those who are interested in entrepreneurship. You have 1 year that's dedicated to helping them to go into that entrepreneurship program. I'm sure the private sector and organizations such as yours and DFIs will be willing to partner with the government in this regard. We absolutely need to address the fear of formalization. Staying in the informal sector is like birthing a baby at home with no medical assistance and keeping that child without medical assistance, including access to vaccines. The result is either death, which is what we're seeing in businesses failing within the first 5 years, or inability to grow or outlive the founders. Or that child becomes a liability for life. We must create policies that make entering into the formal sector attractive because of the grants and assistance that will be received. The sobering statistics of failures is a call to action for all to help midwife the birthing of new businesses and the growth of these businesses to stability and maturity to avoid business failures, particularly in the first 5 years. At EcoBank, we have observed that more than financing, the greatest need is knowledge, which is why we provide different avenues to build that knowledge through our My SME series or our Elevate program. The Elevate program is targeted to women-owned, women-led businesses. We need to have community business clinics that are able to handhold entrepreneurs and help them with preparing business plans, incorporation, and help with access to funding. We should be able to provide tax breaks for entrepreneurs up to a certain stage and reward entry into the formal sector. The micro pension scheme also is a fantastic initiative. We need more CC hubs in Nigeria and on the continent of Africa. The Co-Creation Hub, otherwise known as CC Hub, is an innovation center dedicated to accelerating the application of social capital and technology for economic prosperity. It has helped to co-create businesses by providing funding, space, and other support for startups. And some of the success stories include LifeBank, which has grown from a startup to a full business, saving lives and creating jobs profitably. LifeBank is a digitized blood inventory and delivery business. Another business which was co-created by CC Hub from startup to full-grown business is Talo, a furniture design and retail business. Creating more knowledge support for our startups locally, as well as more local accelerators, will help maintain intellectual property in Nigeria, develop our legal system, grow investments in startups and nascent businesses locally, and help to develop our knowledge on how best to grow our startups and develop entrepreneurs. We're also exposing our young budding startups to an incredible foreign exchange burden, with most of the funding coming from foreign investors in foreign currency. The failure of the Silicon Valley Bank could very easily have become a disaster for startups on the continent and in Nigeria. And that's a wake-up call for all of us. In this regard, I'm really excited about the AFDB's Youth Entrepreneurship Investment Bank initiative, which targets investments in youth-led enterprises. So we need to get more enterprises also into the real sector. A significant cause of our economic challenges in Nigeria and on the continent is a broken business model of exporting commodities and importing processed goods. We all know it. We need to break out of this. Fixing that model by having more enterprises in the real sector is going to be critical for a sustainable future. Partnerships are indeed critical to our success in this regard and will help us forge the right relationships, funding at the right pricing for growing enterprises, as well as funding with knowledge products, which are critically needed. At EcoBank, a partnership with the Africa Guarantee Fund has been instrumental in helping us support entrepreneurs across the continent, including Nigeria. Furthermore, through our Elevate program, we have been able to support women-owned enterprises through their early stages to stability. In addition, in Togo, we partner with the government under its Fund for the Support of Youth-Led Enterprise Initiatives, which has helped to provide knowledge, mentoring, and funding support. Now, technology. Technology provides an amazing opportunity for us to leapfrog. It's an opportunity for data gathering, taking businesses to scale, increased efficiency, and service delivery. But we need to help provide technology as a service, as a shared service for entrepreneurs until they can reach a stage of maturity at which they're able to support the costs of effectively. So these are just a few highlights I wanted to share. I look forward to a continued conversation, particularly to explore how we can partner and crowd in more players on this critical issue of entrepreneurship. And to Ayodele Moturayo, Jonathan, Omoshalewa, Rilwin, Wilson. You are amazing catalysts. You've been equipped for impact. I look forward to seeing the great things you're going to be doing on the issue of entrepreneurship and how you're going to be influencing policy making. You are graduating, but that doesn't mean that you are leaving. I would say leaving the partnership and the community that has been created by Fate Foundation. Remaining part of that community is a key part of the success, is a key part of having a voice to make a difference, a voice to help develop policy making and the right types of policies. So I wish you all the best and look forward to seeing the great things you're going to be doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Akintomide. We really appreciate that. I wish this was in person so that, you know, you could hear the rousing applause. But on behalf of everyone, I would do that. But thank you so much for sharing very important nuggets for our graduating fellows and our incoming fellows. You know, you touched on the fact that championing policy reforms is a call to all. So we're not looking at just the government, it's everybody. And that's why the work that we do at the Fate Institute exists. And that's why the fellows are here. You touched on bridging the knowledge gap within the ecosystem. You touched on promoting the understanding of the business environment, building partnerships. You also touched on technology, particularly just democratizing it and making it cheaper, more affordable, especially for those in the rural areas. Thank you so much for touching on. I think that this is broad, but you did such a beautiful job of weaving everything together and delivering such a rich keynote to all of us present on the call today. And so on behalf of the board of directors and the management at Fate Foundation and everyone at the Fate Institute, we say a very big thank you. Thank you for honoring our invitation and thank you for this amazing keynote. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And so we would now move on very swiftly to the next item on the agenda. And this is where we would take a spoken word or poetry interlude by none other than an individual called the Eighth Sage. I absolutely love his name. But before I bring him up, a brief bio on who the Eighth Sage is. The Eighth Sage, also known as Babatunde Tsowobola, is a legal practitioner called to the Nigerian bar in 2003. His core interests are administrative law and constitutional law. He's a seasoned grant administrator, having administered 3 projects issued by the United States National Institutes of Health and is currently mentor on a 4th training project. His passion is to raise disruptive thinking leaders that would possess the courage and creativity to transform their worlds. More importantly, he is a performance poet known as the Eighth Sage. He focuses on seeking unique perspectives to the everyday issues we face, with a view to getting his audience to look within themselves for the solutions they seek to make life better for all. His works include Systems, Poetry and Constitutions, If I Was President, and on Making Women. Making Sheroes, that's another one, which seeks to prevent the menace of and inspire women and girls that have had to go through the travails of sexual and gender-based violence and violence against women and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Eighth Sage as he performs the laws of life. Over to you.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Maka. Good morning, everybody. Thanks to the teams at Fate Foundation and the Fate Institute. Congratulations to both the outgoing and the incoming fellows. One thing I like about this whole program, this event, is the concept of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship in Summary simply seeks to improve the quality of life. But the question is, can you seek to improve the quality of life when you have not first understood the laws of life? Because our entire lives are lived in relation to laws. They govern our existence from before the day you are born till after your corpse will be evicted from the morgue. You will never escape their embrace. But I come to teach you how to brace yourself with them with grace. The reason why life is structured on a system of principles, or what you could alternatively call records or rules, are because these are what help to make our lives predictable. So I'm here to help you approach the law and escape getting bruised. But I'd also like to warn that whatever it is you do, don't believe whatever I say simply because I told it to you. Your duty is to also confirm whether or not whatever you hear is true. Because, my friends, there are always exceptions to every rule, and understanding this may likely be your greatest tool. So let's get started on the 4 crucial laws you'd execute. Law number 1, discern the law, know it. An African adage states that when a chicken first arrives in Rome, it doesn't just start flapping around the Colosseum and feeling at home. It would first stand on just one leg in order to comprehend and to know. So over time, you'll understand just how to crow with Antonio. When you get somewhere new, remain as humble as a child. Give honor to those that went ahead to ensure your path is mild. Accept that sometimes you might have to stoop in order to conquer. But if you know just what you're doing, your esteem won't be squandered. This is the essence of your going to school. It's when to put your head down, sit up and pay your dues. Raise your hands in surrender for the things you are to imbue. A school doesn't necessarily have to be a formal institution. It refers to any process that hones your intuition. Take time to understand the systems you are in. Find your place and know how best you can fit in. This doesn't mean you must concede the truth you believe in, but doing what you must to ensure you keep receiving without compromising truth or doing anything deceiving. Sounds contradictory, right? But don't get confused. You must understand the difference because failure isn't excused. Because life has shown that change is best effected from within. So for the sake of your time in this space, be sure you eventually win. Probe the history of everything you are expected to imbibe. Examine to know and understand all the reasons why. Some questions would be answered just by keen observation. Others would require much deeper investigation, but your best results would come from conducting interrogation. Then once you would have mastered all these, you would never succumb to worry because knowledge empowers, so you never have to say sorry. And having done all this, you'll then be conveyed in a hurry to the second law. Law number 2, follow the law, keep it. No system survives or thrives in the absence of loyalty. This is the only way kings and queens sustain their royalty. Even subjects and commoners need it within their crews. But this allegiance isn't to a person or a group, but to the values-based grand system of rules that governs the various paths that your life will choose to pursue. Obedience to the law ensures structure is always in place. Even evil requires a system to successfully operate. So don't think by becoming a crook, you'll be able to escape the responsibility of obeying the rules every single day. That's why honor is enforced, even amongst thieves. So no one acts on every whim or caprice they perceive. Because institutions only survive when everyone concerned subjects themselves to principles that everyone must learn, that everyone must evenly practice or everyone will burn. Because even God in heaven, he adheres to principles. Yes, I agree, he's gracious, he's also merciful, but he told us what he says means more to him than his name, because what he says is law, so just adhering brings you faith. Abiding by the rules would also earn you some love, earn you the respect of all below and above, but your deeds should only be spurred by sincerity and love. Then it won't matter that sanctions are embedded within the rules. You also won't be scared of what superiors may try to do, even if they may seek to try to personify them too. But beware, don't get enslaved to acquiescence. Your purpose can only be achieved on the wings of your quintessence. And as you perfect this by mastering all your flaws, that will be a sign that you're also ready to master the third law. Law number 3, query the law. Bend it. Research shows the second law causes commoners to cower. But the third law mitigates the second, ensures you are truly empowered, inspires you to leave your comfort zone and stop being a coward. But this is also the point at which things will start to get tough, the point at which the law will try to call your bluff, the point at which most of us simply give up. To bend the law is to go beyond what is normally allowed. But to do it, you must first know how to disengage from the crowd, to be disruptively silent in a cacophony of sound, while meditating on higher things, though your head is bowed. Because while principles keep you grounded and prepare you for more, being grounded shouldn't stop you from trying to unlock doors. Because no protocol enacted by man has ever been foolproof. The lapses are what enable the exceptions to every rule. Every law has loopholes begging to be explored. Your job is to find out just where exist those flaws, dents in the structure that can get it to be flawed, foundations needing excavating from facts they currently ignore, boundaries of science begging to be stretched further and beyond. Because there are really no obstacles to our bending the law. Our problem is we just lack the spine to try and open the door. But true victims should do anything, even assume some risks, realizing doing nothing really makes you complicit. Knowing what we think are locks are just things we don't yet understand. But with prowess and courage, the master key will be right there in your hand. Life is an endless negotiation, swayed by the forces of push and pull. Your ability to bargain determines whether or not you end up a fool. Nothing is ever neutral, so either you are charging like a bull or you're hibernating like a bear if you think that's what suits you. But I'd like to encourage that whichever of these you do, ensure everyone leaves the table satisfied they got something too. So actively seek out ways by which you can bend the law, ways to achieve results yet still remain within the walls, something outside the ordinary. It could even impress and inspire awe. And the results of this will propel you to the fourth and the final law. Law number 4. Surpass the law. Break it. Now, when I say break the law, I don't mean anarchy and disorder. So I'm not issuing license to illegally cross the border. Listen, whenever a person does precisely what the law demands, or should they rather opt to transgress on the other hand, their record transposes the law and becomes standard for every man. The memorial serves as sample for either good or bad. The law is overshadowed in the light of whatever they would have done, because actions speak louder than words. Try asking your loved ones. But subsequent versions should be upgrades of all previous ones. So why are successive generations worse than all those before? It's because predecessors gain access, then discard the keys to the door, rather than hand down the blueprint so we can increase levels and flaws. But the master told us that the law was made to serve the man. But most that master the law make it an instrument in their hands. So like I said, understanding exceptions may be your greatest tool. Remember, I also said people sometimes personify the rules. So because the spirit of justice never fails to come of age, breaking the law doesn't mean offending the spirit of words on a page. It means breaking the reign of rules that have exceeded their expiry dates, practices and cultures that keep us bound in the shackles of time, traditions and conventions we ought to have long left behind, offending moral codes and favors old so wrong may be made right. Surpass the law. Break it. Because to surpass is to be better or greater than someone or something else, doing better or greater than the records of someone else, being consumed by a passion that considered nothing else, by ultimately doing or being greater than your very self. So do I have here people that know the law etched deep in their DNA, people that obey the law and act on what only good conscience says, people that can bend the law, come what may. People not scared to break the law with non-contact force. People who dare to chart for us all a brand new course. I wish all the fellows the very best in their endeavors and look forward to you making your impact on the sands of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The 8th stage, that was the 8th stage performing the laws of life. I particularly like the reference to law because a lot of the work we're going to be doing as policy reformers would be to review laws, design laws, pass laws, that would spur entrepreneurship in Nigeria. So thank you for that powerful rendition on the laws of life. The 8th stage, everyone, thank you very much for being with us today. His real name, should I say your real name? His real name is Babatunde Tsowo Bola Thank you so much for that powerful rendition again. Okay, so moving on to the next item on the agenda, this is where we now take the charge to all our fellows on the call today. And delivering this charge is the chairman, the Communications and Advocacy Board Committee at Faith Foundation, who is also the Secretary to the Ogun State Government, Mr. Tokumbo Salabi. Sir, you have the floor if you can hear me and see me. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody. I hope everybody can also hear me and
Yes,
also
sir, we
see
can.
me.
Yes, sir.
That was music to my ears when I heard what the last speaker has just said. It was very eloquent in his ways, and I pray that more words will come into his dictionary. Well, my role here is basically to leave you with some words about what lies ahead of you. And my charge to you is presented like this. Salutation to all of us who are here today, the board members, the graduating and fellows, the incoming fellows. So on behalf of the board of directors,
Okay, so I think
pass the torch forward, the outgoing and the incoming. 2022, we set out to be scholars, policy experts, economists.
Okay, we apologize. I think generally speaking, internet today has been quite epileptic. But we're working very hard to get Mr. Tokumbo Talabi back on the call so that he can continue with the charge. Okay, I think Mr. Talabi is back on the call. Hello, sir.
Recording in progress.
Hear me? Hello?
Yes. Hello, sir.
Okay, now I'm talking to you from two
devices.
I'll just go on to the next one. Yeah, so if one fails,
Okay, we can see you, sir.
okay. So I'm
we can
really
hear you.
sorry. I mean, some of those things happen, but I think that I'm on two sides now, and I can switch. So
All right, sir.
I just want to say that when Faith Institute Fellowship Program was launched in 2022, we set out to build a program that will bring together scholars, policy experts, economists, and other thought leaders to join our effort in leading innovative thinking and exploring solutions to some of Nigeria's most pressing entrepreneurial challenges. I mean, we had the Faith Foundation, we had the training programs, the SME programs and all that, and the owner programs. But we went further to also intervene in the market. But at the same time, we wanted something that is of more engaging and based on data and based on research work that can be streamed out from time to time. And that is why, to continue that pipeline, this institute and that fellowship program was set up. So it gives me great pleasure, of course, to warmly congratulate you guys. Your dedication and thorough research have enriched our institute and contributed to bridging knowledge gaps within Nigeria's entrepreneurship ecosystem. We are likewise incredibly proud of the knowledge you have gained and the impact you will undoubtedly have continuing to shape the future of entrepreneurship in Nigeria.
Recording in progress.
You have okay, so I'm joining from another stop now. Sorry, I'm in a part of town where network is not as good. I'm somewhere in Badagry, so you're going to be seeing me on any of the alternating programs. As I was saying, that these will serve as valuable resources for policymakers and stakeholders shaping the future of Nigeria's entrepreneurial ecosystem. You live here not only with your experience, but also as our esteemed alumni. You are going to be the poster boys or the face of the new Faith Foundation that is going into this level. And that is why the selection and the program itself is very competitive, even just during our second session. Your journey wasn't easy. Research, of course, is a very rigorous endeavor, demanding intellectual rigor and unwavering resilience. However, you have persevered, and I think you deserve kudos for that. You delved into the complexities of women, complexities of youth-led businesses, creatives, trade, retail. You even looked into persons with disabilities and other key areas, offering new perspectives and critical insights. They are testaments of your commitment to fostering a more supportive environment for micro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria and beyond. Your advocacy recommendations will empower stakeholders to champion the policies that fuel entrepreneurial growth and unlock the full potential of Nigeria's business landscape. We hope you can carry the torch of intellectual Nigeria's business landscape. We hope you can carry the torch of intellectual curiosity and standard of excellence wherever your path may lead. Engage in open dialogue with policymakers and entrepreneurs alike. Disseminate your findings at industry conferences and workshops. Become thought leaders in your respective fields, constantly seeking innovative solutions to the challenges faced by Nigerian entrepreneurs. We eagerly anticipate the contributions you will make in our dear country, Nigeria. For those of my new guys coming up, we are thrilled to have you to join our vibrant community of scholars. You, as usual, you bring in fresh perspectives and a thirst for solutions that will undoubtedly energize our ongoing research endeavors. Here, you will be challenged and supported by a community of fellow researchers and our Faith Institute team. We hope you embrace the collaborative spirit of the Faith Institute, delve into groundbreaking research, and push the boundaries of knowledge against all odds. The world of entrepreneurship is dynamic. Our macroeconomic environment at the national and subnational levels also present to us different challenges and opportunities for thought leadership. Technology is evolving rapidly, and new opportunities and challenges are constantly emerging. Prepare yourselves for the intellectual rigor of research, which you will experience right from your onboarding to your monthly engagement sessions. Embrace the challenges of understanding the nuances of Nigeria's entrepreneurial landscape. Let your own backgrounds and experiences in academic, research, and public service, media, financial services, and more enrich the research narratives. You stand before a legacy of excellence established by your predecessors. Their research will serve as a springboard for your own endeavors. You have a unique opportunity to build on their work and engage with their body of research. To both our graduating and incoming fellows, you share a vital mission, and that is to contribute impactful solutions to the Nigeria's entrepreneurial ecosystem. Here at Faith Institute, we create the environment, the platform to develop thorough research that provide the answers the ecosystem seeks, as well as a platform to share your findings and contribute to the public discourse. We at the Faith Institute will challenge you as follows. My last speaker gave you 4 laws to deal with. I'm just going to leave you with also these 4 highlights that you too should also abide with. First, and it's a way, a reflection of what the last speaker said. First one is, I want you to think boldly. Don't be afraid to ask unconventional questions. This was when he was telling you to query the law and stretch it. So it is saying, don't be afraid to ask unconventional questions and explore new frontiers in your research. We all we'll all be looking forward to seeing you break new grounds and create new varieties or for us all. Embrace collaboration. Synergy is key to progress. Work together to leverage each other's strength. If you look at all your bios, everybody comes with something on the table. Don't limit yourself to what you know. Please embrace collaboration. Third one, communicate effectively. Share your research, not just within the Faith Foundation community, but also with the broader entrepreneurial ecosystem. That is when your research then becomes really rich and really full, and then you will have taken all perspectives into it, and it becomes a very robust and touches people where they need it most. Maintain the highest ethical standard. This is why it says don't break the law. But here, we want you to uphold integrity and transparency in your research endeavors. No shortcuts, no patch-ups. Just say it as it is. It is one of the foundations or one of the tenets of faith in itself, that this is how things should be done, properly, with integrity, with sincerity, with objectivity, and with an unbiased attitude. Our goal is that the FACE Institute Fellowship Program will not only build policy leaders, policy shapers, and policy influencers in Nigeria, but that our fellows will respond to the ever-changing and dynamic policy world with a sense of urgency for the group of individuals who matter the most in all of this, which is you and us, the entrepreneurs. The graduating class has laid the groundwork. The incoming class will build upon it. Together, they will ensure that Nigeria's entrepreneurial ecosystem thrives. Once again, I'd like to congratulate our graduating fellows and also the incoming fellows for a time that is going to be interesting for you now that you're going out of the institute, and those who are coming in, a new challenge for you. I thank you all for listening to me, and I hope that some of the things that the gentleman from my predecessor speaker and what I've said will be enough for you to guide you through successfully as you navigate a new course in life and as you go through the institute. Thank you for hearing me. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for that powerful charge to our graduating and incoming fellows. We appreciate your kind words, words of encouragement, and the push that you have given to both our graduating and incoming fellows. Thank you very much, sir. Our time is fast spent, so we'll be taking closing remarks very shortly. But just before we do that, we would like to hear from some of our incoming fellows very briefly on some of your expectations. So just randomly selecting, I'm just going to call on somebody from the incoming cohorts, two actually, because we have senior research fellows and we have research fellows. So I can see Kolawole looking at me. So Kolawole, you go. So you go. And then who else do I see? Okay, I see Charles. Charles, you would also go speaking for the research fellows. Kola, you're up. Very briefly, because we're out of time. Okay.
Thank you very much, Amaka. First of all, I would like to say a very big thank you to Faith Foundation. It's 24 years and of building a legacy of entrepreneurship in Nigeria. I remember the early days in Waterworks House in Ijora, and I can't believe it's already 24 years. And here we are right here on this call, shaping the next generation of entrepreneurship policies and initiatives. So I'm excited to be part of this. I stand and I echo the voice of my incoming fellows as well. We stand on the shoulders of giants, cohort one that has gone before us, and on the foundation laid by the Faith Institute. And I look forward to the journey ahead. I hear people say it's an opportunity, but I also see it as a challenge. And we gladly embrace this challenge because the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Nigeria is not just unique, but is also interesting. And we look forward to bridging the knowledge gap, just like the keynote speaker mentioned. It's not just about money or funding, it's actually about the knowledge gap that exists in the ecosystem. So we stand on the shoulders of giants and we look forward to the journey ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was Kolawole Oshinawo, our senior research fellow, incoming, like they say during elections, our incoming senior research fellow. Thank you very much. Up next is Charles Asiebu, who would speak on behalf of the senior research fellows. Charles?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amaka. And I want to say a big thank you to the foundation, board and members of the foundation for this privilege. I wouldn't say much because Kolawole has said it all. Our expectation generally, if I would speak for the fellows and probably the senior research fellows, is to first connect with the ecosystem to understand the intricacies, the arguments, the current conversations, and connect with members of the ecosystem. We also hope to gain new learnings, new insights, and be able to interrogate issues as they come up. We also, look forward to, bring in fresh ideas, to make, more robust conversations ongoing and, generally shape policies as both existing and new ones. Thank you very much for the opportunity once more, and I look forward to, being a full member after now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Charles. So we would swiftly move on to the final item on the agenda. I was going to sneak in one more person because I called on two gentlemen. So I was going to sneak in a lady, but we're really out of time. Okay, I see my executive director nodding her head. So let's have Chiamaka. Chiamaka, on behalf of the women, do us justice. A few words, please.
Okay, Amaka. Thank you, Amaka, for this opportunity. I'd also like to say a big thank you to the Faith Institute for this opportunity that has been given us. I feel very humbled, I should say, to be in a room of giants such as the ones I have seen or have met and heard from today. So I just want to say a big thank you to the board of the Faith Foundation and for all of us, the new incoming fellows, to have been given this opportunity. And just like my colleague Charles has said, we definitely are looking forward to, being a huge part of the ecosystem when it comes to the Nigerian economic space, and also making policies moving forward, and just being very much involved and contributing our quota moving forward. And I guess that's all I'm going to be saying. So thank you again, Amaka, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ejide,
thank you.
1 minute. Now I'm balancing the equation. So Ejide.
Oh, nice. All right. Thank you so much. I should be taking a break from what Kola Oli has already said. It's been truly phenomenal. Looking at this in Nigeria, which I was part of then. As an entrepreneur, I have a lot of friends that passed through this. I'm happy that we have a lot of entrepreneurs in the system now as incoming fellows. So we understand the challenges that we have, and we're hoping that what we're going to be doing now will be bridging the gap to ensure that entrepreneurs have the kind of roadmap, the kind of leeway to be able to grow and improve what we have currently in the system. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Those were our incoming fellows. And on that note, I'll yield the floor to the Executive Director of Faith Foundation, Adenike Adeyemi, for closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Amaka. Thank you. It's truly been a 90, or should I say 100 minutes of not just celebratory, but really just insightful perspectives that have been given. I would like to very specially acknowledge and appreciate our keynote speaker. Thank you very much for her emphasizing, a lot of data sets. She's spoken like a true Faith Institute champion. Just reflecting on the challenges and opportunities within our demographics, the potential for the entrepreneurship ecosystem that we have, not even just in Nigeria, but just even looking at the region as a whole, looking at the youth demographics, looking at the role of women, looking at the situation we found ourselves over the last 3-4 years, from the pandemic to supply chain issues to the wars, and why, there's no such time than now to, in our words, talked about creating a nurturing environment for entrepreneurship, because that nurturing environment will not be possible without the insights to, the different dynamics and perspectives of the entrepreneurial environment that we see in Nigeria. And I really appreciate, even the recommendations that, she also provided. So thank you very much, Ms. Akintomide. Thank you very much to members of our board who continue to champion the work we do at the Institute in so many ways. Thank you, Mr. Talabi. Thank you, Mrs. Bella. Thank you very much to the 8th Sage. It was, you really spoke, as I say, a word in season for our entrepreneurs in an artistic way, but also really reflecting our expectations and the role of the fellowship work within the larger body of work that we do. Thank you and congratulations to Ayodele Shitu, Muturaya Akinshola, Jonathan, Omoshalewa, Real One, and Wilson. Yes, it's 2 years, but the journey continues, so it's not bye-bye. So let me just emphasize that and welcome on board to Charles, to Chiamaka, Ejide, Kola, and Oluyemi. Ejide said something which for us is also important. Part of the dynamic opportunity that Faith Institute does, it brings practitioner work into the conversation. A lot of the work we do is based on our own experience and the insights we've shared to date. And so even for this fellowship, it was very important for us to make sure that it wasn't just academics sitting, in the field. In fact, all our academics in the pioneer class are people who work within and outside of the ecosystem. And so, the real study, real data, real insights can also be incorporated into the research that is being done. And so we're happy to even have one or two of our graduates who also are now joining the fellowship from the Faith School, now also coming into the Faith Institute. And to everybody else who is not who is not a fellow, who has joined on this call, and who are entrepreneurs. I see quite a lot of our entrepreneurs in the house. I acknowledge our president, Mrs. Tony Bakar, who joined the call, and different members of from the NESGM SME Committee of Praxis. I also see here, and also acknowledge you. Thank you so much. I want you to look forward to the outcomes that our new fellows would also be presenting. There are quite a lot of things that we will share and present. Thank you very much to Mrs. Roslyn Onalaja too, who is also a member of our Communications and Advocacy Committee. Thank you. And last but not the least is to specially appreciate the Faith Institute team led by Amaka Nwokolo. Thank you, Real One, and Victoria from the policy arm of the Faith Institute, and also to Ebola from the research arm, or who has worked all through to design this program and ensure that it really was an enriching program, but also who do the different things that we do at the Institute. Thank you so much on behalf of the team. I would not like to leave this without also referencing our work. I know some of us are familiar with our work, and I would like to ask Ebola if you can put our research link on that. We have quite a lot of insights on the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Nigeria. We're very bold and very proud to say that we have the highest compendium of data, research report, and thought leadership on the Nigerian small and growing business space, and particularly around micro, small, and medium enterprise matters. So from our annual State of Entrepreneurship in Nigeria report, which we've released about 3 times, led by the team, and includes very strongly one of our fellows, Wilson, who is also here. Those provide insights for you along the 5 index areas that we give, and they also provide state level data for us too. Again, we recently published the collaboration report we did with the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, which is a competitiveness study of MSMEs in Nigeria, looking at the World Economic Forum framework and the 3 dimensions of competitiveness. Again, also segmented, distilled across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. If you're looking for research around gender matters, we have from a white paper from perspectives on supporting women across not just in Nigeria, but 2 other countries, it's there. If you're looking for insights on fashion, informal economy, on food, on ginger, even on the burning issue around taxation and access to finance, it's there. So please do engage with our research work, share it. It is free. And I keep saying it's free for now. So as it's there, please take advantage of it. Such a huge resource. We believe very much in data influence programming and policies. Don't go out there, making policy recommendations without referencing existing research and data that's there. And if there's even data that you feel is not there, please share it with us. Share your ideas with us. We're happy to consider it in this new light. And last but not the least, we also have part of the things that Maka spoke earlier on was around the podcast that we did with a number of our fellows. And so please, I'll also ask the team to share the podcast link. We have podcasts that break down, even from just to better understand our approach to our research how we go about the State of Entrepreneurship report and why those perspectives matter, not just for academics, but even for entrepreneurs. Those podcast recordings are available there. And, we also take a number of all the other topics in terms of relevant burning issues that are there. So please do also engage with our podcast. You will be expecting an invitation to our November policy dialogue series on entrepreneurship, which is the 10th in the season, and which is the annual convening where we discuss on urgent policy matters and also reflect on the insights from our annual State of Entrepreneurship report. So thank you very much again. And a warm welcome to our new fellows, and thank you very much to the Fate Institute team and the entire Fate Foundation team for the support. Have a good afternoon, and over to you, Amaka.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Adenike. On that note, we'll wrap it up and say, let the journey continue for our graduating fellows, and to our incoming fellows, let the work begin. Emphasis on work, because I'm going to be in your faces. But welcome on board. Congratulations, everybody. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you for joining us. Bye for now.
Thank you.